Awesome. Well, we've got Logan Nathanson here from Favorite Finds. Logan, thanks for joining us on Creator Logic.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me here.
So I'm super interested to learn more about your business. I checked out like your Amazon shop and some of your content, but for our viewers, our readers, will you tell us a bit about Favorite Finds and what your business as a creator looks like?
Yeah, absolutely. So with Favorite Finds, I am pretty much posting on all platforms, all locations, all types of content. At this point, the main goal of our content is to help our audience find products that will make their life easier in some sort of way. That might apply to a small number of people for a certain product or a large number of people for another product, but that is really the ultimate goal. And then kind of with a side goal of helping people save money or purchase smarter to achieve those goals as well. So our short form content is mostly product reviews centered around those products. Long form, very similar type of thing, but more in depth, talking about either one or multiple products in a video. We also send out like a deals newsletter to our audience with coupons every day to, again, help them save money while shopping for the things they were already going to shop. And those are kind of the main things.
That's great. So, okay, so I found your like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You mentioned the newsletter. Can you share kind of like how many subscribers you have on that?
Yeah, I believe the newsletter is right around 9 or 10,000 subscribers right now.
Great. Are there any other sources of audience that I had missed?
Yeah, so just going through the socials, there's obviously the basic ones like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Snapchat is another really big one that we've seen quite a bit of success with. Like to Know It is a small one for us that we're building out. Pinterest is another small one that's being built out right now.
Is LTK, you think about that as like a social platform?
You know, I kind of do because when I talk about products right now, 99% of the time they're on Amazon. And so I don't really need LTK as a platform to link to products and earn a commission, which I know is what a lot of people use it for. I see it more of a social place for me to post collections of products and people can shop kind of collages or click through to products a lot easier. And so, yeah, it is a whole different audience that I'm trying to capture through kind of building it over there right now.
That's really interesting. So you actually build an audience on LTK, but you funnel that audience from LTK to Amazon to buy. Is there a reason you don't use LTK's purchase links and stores and all of that? I mean, is the Amazon commission better? Are they just different products? Like, what's your thinking there?
Yeah, Amazon commission is better for me, I believe. Honestly, LTK is probably like my smallest platform right now and one I'm like in the process of figuring out. So I'm not 100% sure that that's true, but there are bonuses that Amazon creators get for being in the program and selling a certain amount of money and things like that. There are increased commission opportunities in the future with Amazon affiliates as well that I know, obviously doesn't come through LTK. So yeah, I do currently funnel from LTK to Amazon. If there's a non-Amazon product that I talk about, I will link it kind of through LTK there, like an image post or repost my video there and like kind of get people to shop through there if possible. Definitely still working through some of the strategy behind that as well. But yeah, for the most part, everything's already on Amazon and I find it more beneficial to just push people through to my Amazon links directly.
That sort of convenience as well.
Yeah. And I also will say with Amazon, when I bring people to Amazon, that cookie kind of stores on there. And so even if they're not shopping for the thing I sent them to Amazon for, I'm still earning a commission on all of their purchases up to a certain number of days. I believe it's maybe a 7-day cookie or a 3-day cookie or something like that with Amazon. I'm not positive that LTK has the same thing. I don't think you can direct someone through LTK to Amazon. They buy something that you didn't talk about and you earn a commission. It's hard for me to see that information on LTK and see if that's true or not. But as far as I can tell, I think it's just for things you directly sell through there. So
that's super interesting. Would you say that that's, and we'll talk about the other socials too, and this is just like a really unique sort of strategy here, so that's why I'm dwelling on it, but would you say this is sort of a priority for you? Is it something you're testing? Like, how are you thinking about LTK within the rest of your stack right now?
Yeah, it's. I would say it's probably my lowest priority right now. I've heard of and seen a lot of opportunity on LTK. I know that as you grow there, sales to start to exponentially increase and a lot of collaboration opportunities come through the platform from people I've spoken with. So I want to get there at some point in the future. But right now I'm reposting videos there once a day. It takes me like 2 minutes. And then I actually have a contractor who posts collages for me there once a day as well, just to quick roundup of products that I've talked about, or like trending products on Amazon or trending products in general, things like that, as an image post. Yeah, pretty low priority right now, but I would love to, it's an area I would love to grow going into the future, a long-term goal, I would say.
Got it. I've heard the collab opportunities thing too. Do you ever get collab opportunities off of Amazon?
Amazon does have a platform called, I think it's called Creator Opportunities or something like that, where they match you with brands. They'll suggest ones that kind of fit into the categories of products you're selling or products you're already selling, or you can kind of apply to thousands of other ones and you'll get increased commission with those brands. So it's all additional commission-based partnerships. I've never seen like flat fee-based partnerships come out of Amazon's programs directly, which I think differs from most other places.
That's interesting. Okay, let's go back a bit. You had mentioned Snapchat, LTK, Pinterest as like additional audience sources. Were there any others that we missed?
I think that pretty much covers it all. Yeah, those are all of them.
Awesome. And I think Snapchat numbers aren't always public. Can you share your Snapchat audience size?
Yeah, we have around 60,000 followers on our Snapchat right now. I think I can pull up the numbers to double check, but I think we're doing around 500,000 to 1 million monthly views on Snapchat over there.
And what about on LTK?
I don't know if you can see views on LTK. I'm loading it right now, and I guess there's post impressions. So doing like 7,000 post impressions on LTK monthly right now with a few hundred clicks associated. So pretty small compared to other platforms, but
got it. And Pinterest, I think I see like
Pinterest is a little bit of a journey. We've gone through incorrect bans and having to recreate accounts and things like that. There was a point where Pinterest was doing, I think, around 300,000 or 400,000 views a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that one's a work in progress right now to get things back to where it was and aligned with what they think the guidelines broken were.
Yeah, what can you share what happened?
Yeah, I was linking to Amazon from Pinterest. It's kind of like a new feature for them where you can link to certain products. And I think they saw it as me kind of like spamming links. According to all their rules and guidelines, I don't believe I was breaking anything. But yeah, I think they saw it as like too much spam. And there was a point in time where I was, probably like 2 years ago, I was kind of like spamming things on Pinterest and like trying things out and posting a whole bunch of random things. But over the last year, it's been pretty coordinated and I was doing things really intentionally and don't think I was breaking any sort of guidelines, but they were not happy with that. They prefer you to link to like your own blog page. And then that is like an article written up or an image or something like that, which then directs to affiliate portals like Amazon. And so I was actually in the process of converting all of that over when they shut things down and wouldn't listen to my messages about bringing that back up. So yeah, Pinterest, I'm pretty much in the process of restarting now and doing things hopefully more correct to them.
So you're like actually fully, I just tried to do pinterest.com/ourfavoritefinds and it won't load. So is that like the old page?
Yeah, I think that is the old page. I actually have a contractor who helps me with Pinterest as well. And so she is working on the whole restart process of all of that right now and matching up my blog to match Pinterest better. So yeah, I'm not sure if there's a public link right now. This is over like the last 2 weeks that things have been banned and shut down and in progress of restarting and all of that.
That's a bummer. Hopefully that gets going soon. But when it was working, you said that it was doing big numbers.
Yeah, we were doing a couple 100,000 monthly views, I believe. I'm like blanking on the exact number, but there was also a point in time where Pinterest had like a creator rewards program where they were paying out creators who were getting a certain number of views or doing a certain number of posts or number of saves or things like that. They were like little tasks that you would do, and they give you a couple $100 per task per month. And so at the time, I was pretty heavily investing into someone helping me with my Pinterest over there and maxing out those creator rewards monthly that they were sending. They dropped that probably over a year ago at this point. And so fortunately for the fact that it's banned, I wasn't really earning anything from Pinterest aside from, the views number and the followers increasing. It was hard to pull any sort of monetization from Pinterest for me.
So is that an area you would recommend other creators invest in or not initially or later on? Or how do you think about that?
Yeah, I feel like it depends on what your niche is. Funny enough, if I was like looking at someone like me, I probably would recommend myself and anyone similar to my niche to be on Pinterest. I do feel like it's a platform that's pretty underutilized and has a lot of potential. I think the main strategy I'm planning on moving forward is to drive people to my my website or my blog from Pinterest, which I've heard can be super successful. I don't have any sort of proof on that yet, other than like word of mouth from friends and friends of friends. So yeah, I think for anyone who talks about products or has some sort of blog to link back to, whether it's like recipes or advice or anything like that, would see a lot of benefit from Pinterest.
Just because I haven't chatted with many people that like have actually gotten significant scale on Pinterest, like what's the strategy there? Like what's your strategy and kind of approach to actually like growing and monetizing on the platform?
Yeah, for me, when I was starting really diving into it, which was probably 2021 and 2022, it was honestly pretty similar to the other platforms, just the consistency for the most part. And again, I had a contractor who was helping me kind of figure out Pinterest at the point in time, but I know it was a lot of organizing correctly into idea boards, making things that look like aesthetic to people on Pinterest, because a lot of it comes from like Google search or just Pinterest search or things like that. Engaging with other people's content on Pinterest, their idea boards, those sorts of things, and connecting with them. And somehow Pinterest kind of links idea boards together, I believe, when you are kind of engaging back and forth with each other. And so it like helps the recommendation system there. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it's the same as every other platform. And it's just be as consistent as possible, keep trying random things, throwing darts at a dartboard until something sticks, and then just repeat that over and over again. And that's been, my general social media concept I've followed forever. So
is it mostly video that you post there, or also you mentioned like aesthetics of photos as well?
It was mostly video, and now I believe I'm fully doing videos again. There was a point in time where I was trying out some images over there because I know that that's pretty popular on Pinterest, and a lot of it is pretty image-based. When they released, I believe they're called idea pins, which are the videos you can upload on Pinterest, they were pushing those out a bit more, I believe, and so I was doing 95% plus videos ever since that release.
Let's dig into the numbers real quick. So in terms of your sources of revenue, I guessed, affiliates, obviously, brand deals, and then maybe some platform ad rev share. Are there other sources of revenue as well?
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through it. So yeah, brand deals and Amazon affiliates and the Amazon programs are definitely my top revenue sources. Snapchat, honestly, it usually falls in third for me in that number. It's still a significant amount less than the other two categories there, but Snapchat does pay pretty well on the CPM.
That's the Snap Stars.
For me, it's a Snap Show. I know there's a few different monetization things on Snapchat, and they all have very similar names, so it's very easy to mix them up, and I get them mixed up in my head. But yeah, I just have a show where I post episodes too, which is just basically 3-minute long clips or like videos of my short form videos clipped together into a 3-minute piece of content that's a show or an episode inside of a show. So that's where I monetize. But yeah, I know there's like some people get paid for just like posting stories on Snapchat if you're a verified star or whatever they're actually following it on there. So that's where it is for me though. And then yeah, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram all pay a little bit based on views. LTK obviously for sales. And then I'm a part of like a few other affiliate programs that are product aggregate companies. So they have like hundreds or thousands of brands on Amazon. They send you samples of products based on, what you're selling, what you're looking for, what you want. And then they give you additional commission on top of like the sales that you generate through Amazon, through their other platforms.
All right, I'm going to come back to that in a sec. How do those kind of break down percentage wise?
I would say brand deals probably falls right around 60% of the revenue we earn as a company. All affiliate platforms, I'll say, is probably about 35%. And then the others make up the additional 5% or so.
That's so interesting. Okay, so like you're in kind of the perfect affiliate category, but even with, I'm sure you move a ton of product, like brands coming to you and paying you up front is still where the bulk of the money comes from.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is interesting because, affiliate's such a small percentage of sales that you generate. So yeah, I think there's a lot more opportunity in brand deals when you're properly negotiating, properly understanding how much you're worth, properly understanding the value that you can potentially provide a brand. I could make a brand $100,000 in sales, but only get a couple, to 3,000 in affiliate, but then maybe they're willing to pay, a portion of that 100% or 100,000 in a sponsorship, which could be way more than that 3,000 because, people are willing to pay a lot to generate 100,000 in sales. So, that's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah.
That's interesting. That to me seems like there's kind of an inefficiency in the market, right? Like you would think that like the trade-off between affiliates and a flat fee deal is that you should be able to make more reasonably on the affiliates if you are actually moving product. And so like people that move a lot of product would rather take the affiliate, should rather take the affiliate deal. But what you're saying is like in your experience, actually, the affiliate fees are actually still low relative to the value you're providing. And brands, when they know that you're willing to, or that you move product, are willing to pay more upfront to get that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I think of it, I do a little bit of advertising myself, and I think of it a little bit in terms of like ROI for the brand. So to generate 100,000 in sales, maybe a good, like if a brand was running a Facebook ad, maybe if they spent $25,000 on a Facebook ad to generate $100,000 in sales, maybe that would be incredibly successful for them. And so if they can hire a creator, just throwing out random numbers, but hire a creator to not only generate the revenue, but also create the content, which they also had to pay for. And that creator is only $10,000, that it's, 2.5 times better than a Facebook ad for them. But that 100,000 in sales that I generated, I might only get 3,000 from Amazon. And so there's, that 3x multiplier there. That's beneficial for both me and beneficial for both the brand. And I see all of my brand partnerships as beneficial for my audience as well, or else I won't take the collaboration. I know there are people who will avoid brand deals because they can earn more on products they're choosing themselves. So, maybe a product I go buy myself earns 2 or 3 times more in affiliate than like a product that a brand wants me to promote because it's a sponsored video. It's not exactly my choice, but I think there's definitely a balance there as well to get those numbers kind of closer together.
Got it. This is super interesting. So let's jump into kind of the platforms and how they contribute. Again, thinking about like in aggregate now across like revenue streams, but platform by platform, so like inclusive of customers and rev share and all that, like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, newsletter, Snapchat, LTK, Pinterest. This can be a ballpark. And like, you can be like less than 1% or something like that. Keep it round numbers. But how would you think of those breaking down as percentage of pie?
Yeah. Is this just for the views, the being paid out for the views on the platforms, or
all sources of revenue, right? So like maybe your Instagram audience actually buys more from your affiliate links than your TikTok audience does. And you get more brands coming to you saying, hey, we want to market on your Instagram. Then like Instagram is a bigger percentage of your total revenue than TikTok is, that kind of thing.
Makes sense. Yeah. It's first of all, it's really tricky to like break down where my audience is coming from in terms of what they're buying on Amazon, because Amazon doesn't really provide that sort of data to us as creators on their platform.
They don't have like tracking links that you can like use. One's coming from Instagram, one's coming from TikTok, that kind of thing.
They do. You can set up different affiliate tracking IDs, but people who go through my website, I just, I'm not going to put like 6 different links, like click here if you went to my website from Instagram or from TikTok. So like once I get to my website, it becomes a little bit lost and skewed. Now I use a third party website to like turn my links into deep links, which then allows me to like track where people are clicking into my website from and get a little bit better data onto this. So I have, some sort of insight into it. I would say it's probably not perfect, but in terms of guessing at like the pieces of pie, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook are definitely a majority share into all of those. And it honestly switches month to month in terms of which one of those 3 is bringing the most amount of clicks to my Amazon platform. But I'd probably put, and I'll also say brands are pretty heavily focused on all of the platforms as well. When they're reaching out to me, they want me to post in all these places because sometimes a video will do well on TikTok, sometimes it'll do well on Facebook. And so like the diversity is super helpful for like average benefit of a collaboration. But to throw numbers at it, hopefully, I would probably put TikTok and Instagram at 35% each. And then I'd probably put Facebook at 20. I'd say there's a little bit less brands that reach out directly for Facebook versus the other platforms. And then Snapchat probably takes up like 8 of the remaining 10%, and then Pinterest, LTK, YouTube are the other 2% for me right now.
And the newsletter doesn't generate anything?
Forgot about the newsletter in there. I'd probably take a couple percentages off from each of those. Newsletter would probably be fourth to Facebook, I believe. Newsletter would probably be like right around 10% or something. So maybe it'd be like 33, 33, 18, 10, 7, whatever the remaining number I have.
Yeah.
Trying to backtrack that, but yeah, the newsletter would be fourth to TikTok, Instagram, then Facebook, then newsletter, then Snapchat, and then very small with the remaining.
Great. Okay, so I just want to go back. You had mentioned something about product aggregation or aggregate companies. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so there are these companies, and there's 2 that I work with pretty closely, but there's probably half a dozen more or something that exist out there, where as a company, their goal is to buy out Amazon sellers and aggregate them into theirs. I'm not 100% sure on like the details behind all of that. I'm not sure if they get like a percentage of revenue forever and then like help them advertise or something like that. But basically the companies that I work with are called Perch and Thrasio. They own hundreds of products or brands in some sort of way. And then as a creator for them, I can essentially look through their catalog of products, choose which ones I probably would have purchased anyways to talk about with my audience, and they'll send me a free sample of those. I have pretty much freedom to create whatever content I do or don't want to create once I receive the product. Everything flows pretty much exactly like it does now, except I don't pay for the product it's sent to me. And then on any commissions that I generate on those products, I get an additional percentage back. So if I do $10,000 in sales on those products that I got sent to them, they might send an additional $500, $1,000, $2,000 for the month as like a bonus on top of other commissions that I earn.
Got it. So, sorry, you said Thrasio, Thrasio?
Yes.
And Perch.
Yes.
I just Googled it. It looks like Thrasio actually just filed for bankruptcy.
That's probably not good. I did not know that.
This was 5 days ago.
Yeah, I have not heard anything from them, so that's super interesting.
Yeah, I'll do a little bit of research on this. It's interesting. But it says, so basically, just to make sure I understand, before I do that, the terminology here. So Amazon Shop, Amazon affiliates. Do you use Amazon? Because your link is like amazon.shop.com or something like that. Are you using Amazon affiliates? Are you Amazon Shop? Or is Amazon Shop like the people who are actually who are making and selling the products? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah, so it is 2 different platforms for them. I'm not actually sure where the dividing line actually is, but my Amazon Shop would just be like my storefront page. I can essentially it's like a Pinterest board of Amazon products that I can curate together into lists, into videos onto my shop right there. And when anyone shows up at my shop, they can click into, here's my products that I talked about this month. I tend to organize it by month because I find that people can find those a little bit easier. Here's the things I talked about in February, and they can click right into the list and see all of the 20 or 30 products that I reviewed in February. They can also search inside of your shop and things like that. Amazon Affiliate is just like the platform in general. It allows me to create affiliate links to any product when I'm on an Amazon page and send out that link to anyone who wants to purchase that product.
Got it. Okay, great. So then sellers, let's say the Amazon sellers, it's like Perch and Thrasio basically own a ton of sellers. And so you can partner with them directly and get better rates on selling their products and like better splits than you would if you just went straight through the shop, because like they are giving you a piece of their margin as well as whatever Amazon would give you.
Exactly.
And that's because like, let's say they're selling, I don't know, a chair, and there's like a gazillion chairs on Amazon. So they want you to like review their chair instead of generic chair B. Mm-hmm. And so they're willing to give you a larger cut so that you sell more of their chair than, the other Amazon seller that's probably actually manufacturing the product at the same factory and maybe even exactly almost the same product. And so for them, it's about reach and brand, and that's why it's worth paying more.
Exactly, yeah. Essentially for them, it's an affiliate-based deal. So they'll, send me whatever products, and I just earn commissions on whatever I sell. So, as long as they're not giving me their full margin on the product, they're still winning by me promoting these products. It also probably helps with page rank for them and SEO and additional traffic and things like that.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, because you're linking to their products instead of to other products. And so they're getting higher credibility in search rankings.
Exactly.
Aside from the better split, is there some other benefit to you? Because like, are they telling you which products to review? Or are you saying, hey, I want to review, I don't know, this back massage tool. Do you have one? How does that work?
Yeah, it's everything is 100% up to my control in terms of which products I want to review. Once I receive them, if I still even want to create content on them, which sometimes, I receive the product and I realize I don't like it and I don't want to create content on it. I don't have to. Where I create the content, whether it's short form videos or long form videos, or, maybe I just put it in my newsletter or something like that, or none of the above. So yeah, it's all completely up to me. I'd say the huge benefits are, number one, they have a lot of products that I want to review anyways, and it helps me find those a little bit easier. Finding products is definitely one of the major challenges we have because, you just got to search and search and search until you find things. And so to have here's a list of 500 home products that we have, it helps narrow it down a little bit versus the 500,000 that I'd have to look through on Amazon. So that's number one. And then number two, I get to do exactly what I'm doing, but earn additional commissions if there is those products that overlap with exactly what I want to review. Number three is those products are free, which, could definitely make a difference. If it's a multiple $100 product, I don't have to go purchase that myself. So
yeah, because I imagine not everyone sends you free product, right? So like if you want to review something, maybe, I don't know, there's a pocket knife that's trending or whatever, or like a phone case that's trending, you would have to buy that yourself unless somebody's willing to send it to you.
Yeah. Right now, we probably buy, even with all these programs and the brand deals and everything, we buy probably 80 to 85% of the products that we talk about.
Is there any expectations on their end about like it being a positive review, or it's just like, they're just kind of sending it out to all of the people who are in their minds, like, have the reach in the audience and they're trusting that their product is good enough to get a good review?
Yeah, I've never heard them require me to say anything. They never asked me to say anything specific. They never have said, make sure you don't say anything negative or things like that. I will say that aside from my YouTube videos, I tend to avoid negative wording in my product reviews. If I don't like a product, there's a very high chance I just won't ever talk about it. A lot of products that are out there that have good reviews and are well-created products aren't for everyone. And I don't want to be the person to not understand who the product is for and completely bash on the product that someone spent years creating and found the right audience to sell it to. And then I'm just not that person. And I say it's the worst product in the world and I ruin their company or I ruin their image or anything like that. And so I try to avoid tricky situations like that. Now, if it's a major company like Apple creates an iPhone that's terrible and I'm reviewing it, I'm totally fine with saying that because I'm not going to ruin Apple. But a lot of the products I talk about are small sellers. And so, I genuinely could ruin their business by not understanding their product fully. So yeah, I tend to avoid negative in general. And so maybe that's why I've never heard anything from these companies saying don't do another negative review. But to answer the question, they've never told me a single word of what I have to say.
Got it. Awesome. Let's talk operating stacks. So the first thing is I kind of noticed you've got a couple different bio links. You've got this Kate, I can't
Cake,
pronounce
yeah.
it, but Cake, yeah. And then you have this Genius link, which is maybe a link in bio company. So do you want to tell me about, is Cake your website or is it the link in bio or you kind of use both? How are you going between those?
Yeah, I use Cake as my Linktree platform. I've tried quite a few different Linktree based platforms, and this is just the one I've found to be easiest, the best analytics, and the cleanest looking in my eyes in terms of displaying products on there.
Is it c8ke.com?
It is, yeah. I really like how you can kind of set up product images in there, which I haven't seen done well on other platforms. It's been a while since I've used any of the others, probably over 2 years now I've been on Cake. But at the time, you couldn't really include a clickable image block on other platforms that you could really fully customize the color of everything, the size, the shape, all of that. And that's the easiest way I've found to get my my audience to the product they want is those kind of images that you can click on. That was the number one seller for me. They also have like a newsletter pop-up built into the platform. So when anyone new comes to my website there, it pops up like a dialog box prompting them to join my newsletter, which I haven't seen on other platforms or haven't seen done as well as this one. So those are the couple of things I really love. And the analytics are pretty good as well. I can see how many people click on every single thing on my site and break that down fully. So,
and so like that aesthetic piece helps you drive more conversions.
It does, yeah. The click-through rate from someone getting to my website and then to Amazon or wherever they're trying to go is pretty high. I think it's in the 80s or 90% range, which is pretty much all I could ask for click-through. So that's a big thing for me for sure.
Have you found that, now I know that like you mentioned, like with Pinterest, for example, like they want you to drive to a website, but like, Instagram and TikTok and all of that, like, have you found that it's better to send them to a website to click again versus sending them to your Amazon shop where they can get cookied immediately and then start shopping? Like what's the reasoning behind sending them to the site?
Yeah, I would say number one is the newsletter pop-up, hoping that I can get people to convert onto that. Number two, Amazon Shop is, even though I mentioned that you can search on it earlier, it's pretty difficult to search and find what you want. Unless I tell them the category to click in on my Amazon Shop, and not everyone's going to read that. It's hard for them to find the product that they want. And so when I was linking directly to my Amazon shop, for example, I'd all the time get people saying like, I can't find this in this list. I can't find it here. I can't find this anywhere. And so getting them to a place where they can see an image of the product that they click that brings them right to the product page is definitely what I found to be the best to get people where they want to be. Of course, my ultimate goal for both sales and just audience satisfaction, I want people to find whatever they want. So,
okay. What do you use for email?
I use ConvertKit for sending out emails right now.
And is there a reason that you picked ConvertKit over all the other options out there?
Yeah, I was on MailChimp for a while. Probably the first 2 years I was on MailChimp, and I think I converted to ConvertKit probably like 6-7 months ago, something like that. And honestly, I don't have a huge reason. I think it was a little bit cheaper than MailChimp. MailChimp started to get pretty expensive for the number of emails I was sending out. And then the other kind of reason I switched over to it was for like the recommendation sort of platform that I know ConvertKit has built in, where like it'll recommend you to other similar newsletters. Honestly, I don't think I've seen a lot of success with that so far, and I don't recommend out because it's a weird space of my newsletter where, I want people to use the coupons that I'm sending out, and I feel like people aren't subscribing to a lot of different like coupon-based newsletters and don't want to be on too many of them. And if they are on too many, then I'm probably not getting their business anyways, which is the whole point of it. So it's a weird space that I'm in with the way I'm sending out newsletters right now. I do have future plans to like have different types of value in my newsletters, but that's on my to-do list right now, and it's pretty much just coupons that I'm sending out. So
cool. Okay, and then do you do any sort of like community or membership or anything like that?
I do not. I have a Discord server that I tried to spin up probably close to 2 years ago at this point, and had a little bit of success. I think there's 600-700 people that came into there. It was just a free Discord server, but I didn't really see a lot of value I could add to people's lives with the Discord server versus everything else I was doing. I was kind of just reiterating what was happening on other platforms, and it didn't feel like the right place for my audience. So I pretty much left that behind.
You shut that down or just like let it idle?
Yeah, it's still running. There's still the same amount of people in there. There's pretty much no chat at all. There was a point in time where I was having people like request coupons in there. So as I was finding them, they're like saying like, hey, can you add like bed sheets in today's newsletter or to your deals website today? And so I would specifically like try to cater to that, but it was more work than it was worth at the time.
Were there other affiliate platforms that you use or that are at least worth mentioning that you use significantly enough? I know there's like tons that you probably have used a few here and there, but
yeah, nothing else really makes up a huge portion. I'm in, probably a dozen other ones, but I don't really use much of them. So
do you use anything for like project management to like track all of these links and platforms and all that?
I do. I use Notion pretty heavily. I've got probably 50 plus Notion pages at this point. I am super organized inside of Notion. Honestly, every email that comes through, it's my CRM database as well. I keep track of all of the emails that I send out to every brand who reaches out to me. Notion automatically like tells me when to follow up on certain things like that. So yeah, I use it for everything, and it's one of my favorite platforms in general.
Nice. What about finances, like banking, credit cards, accounting, and bookkeeping, that kind of stuff?
We do have a bookkeeping / accounting company that we work with. Honestly, I do it all manually anyways because I kind of enjoy doing those sorts of things. Probably not in the detail that the IRS would want, so it's helpful to have another company doing that for me. But I do keep track of like monthly income, monthly expenses, all by myself, and again, all inside of Notion. There, and it's a pretty thorough system in there. So
Wow, so you do your accounting in Notion.
I do, yeah. It's kind of just like almost like a Google spreadsheet, but with like a little bit more automated in terms of like pages and information and things like that.
Is it like QuickBooks? Like, is it tied into your bank accounts and stuff like that?
It's not. I do it all manually, just quickly looking through the couple business cards that we have in our bank account and then input the data.
You've got a lot more patience than I do.
Yeah, I have a weird interest for tracking all those things manually. I do it in my personal life too. So it doesn't take me as much time as you would think. I probably spend 30 to 60 minutes a month tracking everything. So
nice. Do you have a team? I noticed that it's not just you and your images on some of these pages. Is it your wife, your girlfriend?
Yeah, so it is my wife. She is the person behind the camera through all of our videos, short form and long form. She's the main person that I work with, but there's quite a few contractors that are on our team as well. One for Pinterest, one for LTK. One of them is actually the one that sends out my newsletter every day and updates that with new deal information and finds those deals and things like that. I have a couple of contractors now that I'm working with as like VAs for my emails. Working on that kind of handoff right now. I have an editor for all of my videos. I have a thumbnail designer for YouTube as well. I think that's it. I don't want to forget someone, but I think that covers everything.
Do you use anything like for communication or like staying organized across all these teams, like Slack or Teams or text messages, whatever it is?
Yeah, I use Discord. It's actually a new thing of me. Well, I've used Discord like personal messages with all of them for a while, but there's a lot of direct messages at this point. So I have like a Favorite Finds team Discord server that I now use with private channels for all of them, so I can kind of keep everything in one place.
That's awesome. Are you represented by anyone?
I am not. I've gone through the ups and downs of that 3-4 times now, something like that. I've tried quite a few different agencies, and honestly, it just hasn't been it for me. So
yeah, we talked about that a little bit once. Can you share any of your experiences or any like thoughts on sort of why it doesn't work for you?
Yeah, I think the way that I send out emails is very particular in the way that I really want to connect with the people reaching out to me. I want them to see me as someone who can be almost on their team and helping them achieve their goals and really figure out what they're looking for and how do I give them exactly what they need for their business. I think agencies are a little bit quicker to try and get to a conclusion, which totally makes sense. They have 8, 10, 12 times as many emails to go through as one human being because they're typically managing a bunch of people. And so they're not really diving. They honestly don't have the time to dive as deep into those sort of things as I do. And I've found that gap between the level of depth that I want to know when working with the brand versus the level of depth that they're able to get to is significant enough to dramatically impact the revenue that we earn from brand partnerships monthly.
Would you be willing to share like an example of like the type of email that you like to send or even an email exchange? So like, some of the creators that are reading the newsletter, sorry, YouTube viewers, you can go subscribe, can see kind of like, it clearly works if it's made a meaningful enough impact on your revenue that you don't want to be represented and have this taken off your plate. And so I think that would be valuable. I mean, I personally am very curious and I've been doing partnerships for 15 years. So I think it'd be valuable if you're willing to share.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would say this probably depends a lot on the person too. For me, a lot of the brands that I work with are smaller brands. I might be the first creator that they've ever worked with. And so they don't really understand what it means to work with me or what I can provide or what the potential value is. And so they might not have like the right budget in mind when reaching out. They might not realize that I can generate them thousands of dollars in sales and create the content and the idea and edit it and all that sort of thing that they would have to pay someone else thousands of dollars for. And they might think that they're going to do that for like $20 with the creator reaching out to me. And so it's very far off in terms of what they thought at first. But, I might get an email, like, I guess, aside from that, I get emails like asking for, my rate for partnership or things like that. And I would say an agency is much quicker to say, like, here's my rate for TikTok, here's my rate for Instagram, here's my rate for Facebook, versus I won't dive right into the numbers right away. I want to figure out, well, do you have a strategy? Like, are you trying to, gain more followers on social media? In which case, maybe it's better if I link to your pages when I post. Are you trying to use the content that I create to advertise yourself and you don't really care how many views or where I post or anything like that? And so, I'm just going to create them content that they can repurpose, or maybe I'll create multiple versions that they can repurpose. And so really figuring out those answers to what it is they're actually looking for helps me then on the second or third or 25th email, then be like, this is the cost for the services that will achieve the goals that you're actually looking for, versus guessing, I guess, at what they want on first outreach, which typically is, not what they were looking for. It's kind of hard to put into words, but I hope that explains it a little bit.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, if you're willing to share an example, I think this would be super helpful for people. Obviously, feel free to like redact any names or numbers or whatever. It's just more about like the tone, style, what you're asking, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I can try and put together some screenshots. A lot of the time, I'll be 20 emails deep with the company before I start to work out any sort of pricing, and so I'll try to figure out how to piece that together into something. But yeah,
maybe like the most. Just I don't want you to do a lot of work. Just the easiest thing would be to find something where you would see where the diverges from like what a rep would do and what you do.
Yeah, I can definitely piece something together for that.
That'd be awesome. I'd appreciate that. I think last thing I've got is like kind of video production and distribution. Like, what's your stack for producing videos? And then do you use any software? I know you have contractors that handle some of your distribution stuff. Like, how are you going straight to platform? Like, how's your distribution work?
We film fully on an iPhone right now, just the newest iPhone. Whenever that is, we always get the newest one. Found that the camera's really good on an iPhone, and I don't have much experience using other cameras, so it works out super well for us. I use like a Shure desktop microphone when I'm doing my voiceovers, and like a lav mic when I'm doing my YouTube videos. Aside from that, someone edits our videos for me, and I think he probably uses Premiere Pro to do the editing, but not 100% sure on that. And in terms of posting, I manually post to TikTok and Instagram every day. I do use a platform called Repurpose to help post to other places. It automatically will, basically when I post on, I think I have it synced to TikTok right now. When I post on TikTok, it'll automatically download that video without the watermark, get rid of hashtags if I wanted to, add in other things to the descriptions or the title or anything like that, and then automatically repost to Facebook and YouTube for me right now.
That's sick. I'm going to have to, and so it'll get rid of the, sorry, I have lots of thoughts there, so I'm consolidating. Yeah. It sounds like it gets rid of a lot of the stuff that like the algorithms of these various platforms would ding, right? Like the watermark and all of that. I've heard other creators say, well, if you use like an uploader tool, then like the algorithms don't like that. Have you found that to be the case or not really?
I haven't. I've actually tried testing this quite a few times. And obviously it's really hard for me to like definitively put an answer on that because I'm not uploading the same exact video multiple times. So like it's not apples to apples comparison, but I have gone periods of like testing with and without using this tool. And I haven't seen any sort of significant differences in terms of the number of views that it gives. I've also talked to people at these platforms and asked them if it's okay to use upload tools like this. Specifically with YouTube Shorts, I've talked to quite a few people at YouTube, and they've always confirmed that it's totally fine to to use this and that it won't affect anything. Whether they would know if that's true or not, I don't know. But I haven't seen any sort of negative downfall personally.
Super interesting. It's like algorithms are like religions almost. Everyone's got a different interpretation of the word of, the digital lord.
They do. Honestly, I look at algorithms as audience. My main goal is to just produce the best content possible, and I feel like the algorithm will always reward the best content. I mean, if you take a step back and look at the goal of any platform, it's pretty easy to understand that they want people to be on their platform as long as possible. And the best way to reach that goal is to create content that people want to watch. And so I don't look at too much more other than how do I make my content better?
Yeah, it's good. Good insight. Awesome. Any other tools or partners that we didn't talk about?
But no, I mean, I think that pretty much covers almost everything.
Awesome. Then we just got 8 questions on the lightning round, and I'll let you go. Try to keep it to 1 to 2 sentences. Maybe like a sentence for the answer, a sentence for like the reason why. If there's one to give. Cool. What's your number one tool to save time and money?
I think I'm going to go with Notion here, purely for the organization and structure that it provides.
With free money, who would you hire?
Ooh, like person or like job title?
Whatever you want.
Probably Mr. Beast.
a not unusual answer.
Yeah.
He is who he is. What's contributing most to your growth?
I think outsourcing. As I continue to outsource everything I don't like to do or that takes up too much time, it gives me more time for the things I want to do and the things that can make more money.
Love that. What strategies or habits do you swear by?
I create like a daily goal / plan every single morning that kind of outlines my day, lets me know or like lists everything I want to get done and keeps me mostly on track with achieving that.
I'm going to pause because I'm curious about this. I've sort of started doing this. And the thing I'm struggling with about it is that if I don't hit all the check boxes on the list, then I feel like I've failed. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of look at it the other way. Every checked box that I do hit, it like kind of gives me a little bit of endorphins back and it feels like success. And I almost never, there's basically 0 days where I check off everything I planned to do or thought I was going to do. And so I feel like I just kind of flip my mind of like the success is doing as many as I can and just continuing that, I guess. But yeah, it's a tricky thing for sure. It does suck when I'm 9 hours into my day and I have 3 more things on my to-do list. And I know I could just keep working forever, but I guess I just look at the 9 or the other 19 things that I did do and be like, that was a good day. Move on to the next one. So
is your to-do list like 19 things long? Really?
Today there is there's 20 or 21 on my to-do list today, which is longer than normal. I'd say it's normally like 12 to 14 things, but
is that like very granular or very high level?
It is pretty granular. Yeah, I try to break it down pretty significantly into like 60 or less minute tasks to check off as much as possible. Because again, the satisfaction just feels good, I guess.
I like that. So like thinking about it more as like, baseline is doing nothing. So everything that you do is, or like baseline is like checking your emails. It's like I could sit here at my computer and just like go through emails all day.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything I'm getting done is actually useful. Yeah,
exactly.
I like that. What's the biggest risk to your business?
I'd say me losing interest in what I'm doing. I've always found that to be super important, and I think that's the only thing that could slow my business down is me not wanting to do it anymore.
What do you wish you knew when you started?
That's a tricky lightning answer for me because I knew almost nothing. In fact, I didn't even know a content creator was a job when I started creating content. So I would honestly just say probably the opportunity in the creator space.
How do you think of yourself? Creator, influencer, artist, solopreneur, entrepreneur, something else?
It might depend who's asking. I typically say creator and entrepreneur.
Last one is who influences you as a creator?
That's definitely a long list. I would say in terms of content, Mr. Who's the Boss is a big one. Mr. Beast is a big one. Good Mythical Morning is another one for me. And then outside of that, Justin Moore, Creator Wizard on platforms, is a huge influence and has taught me a lot. So put him in that list too.
Are you like one of his in his kind of school in the Creator Wizard school?
Yeah, I took the course probably close to 2 years ago at this point, and it's, I mean, to put it simply, it's probably changed my life how much I've learned from him. So I've also worked with him a lot one-on-one through his, I can't even remember the name of the platform, but his one-on-one sort of mentorship thing that he does as well.
Nice. That's great. Awesome. Anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't talk about?
No, I don't think so.
And what, where should anyone watching this go right now to follow or find you?
Yeah, my name is Favorite Finds on all platforms. The handle is unfortunately a little bit different because it's a tricky name to get on all platforms. But on Instagram, it's at Favorite Finds _. On TikTok, it's at Our Favorite Finds. YouTube is the same as TikTok there. But if you just search Favorite Finds, you should find me on any platform.
Awesome. Well, Logan, I really appreciate your coming on Creator Logic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. We'll talk to you soon.